Well, welcome. Thank you for being here this evening, our first class of 2026. And we had a heat wave today. I didn't get outside, but that is okay. Now, before I start any of my classes, I do like to pray over the class so that we can bring the Holy Spirit in to give us wisdom. So, Heavenly Father, we thank you. We thank you that you have brought these people here this evening, that you've kept them safe as they traveled here, and you will keep them safe as they go home. Lord, we ask you to open up our eyes, that our eyes be open to your Spirit, to your calling, your speaking to us, Father God. We thank you that you give us wisdom, and that when we do lack wisdom, that you will provide for us as we ask for you for that wisdom. Thank you, Lord, for giving me your words this evening. And we praise you for who you are, for all you do for us, and for loving us. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So this is not in part of my class, but I am going to start with this. I read this yesterday. One of my colleagues had posted this, and I was just like, this is so good. And I know we're in the second month of the year, but it's still, to me, the beginning of the year. I just still feel like it's the beginning of the year. So it says, most people don't choose wellness. They wait until something breaks, until pain, fear, or exhaustion creates urgency, until collapse forces attention where intention never did. Crisis has a way of making decisions for us. It compresses time, it narrows focus, it creates movement. But that movement is reactive, driven by desperation rather than vision. Wellness works differently. Wellness is not fueled by fear. It's fueled by possibility. It's a choice made before collapse, when the system still has room to grow rather than just survive. When connection is chosen late, it's often about relief, about escaping discomfort, about stopping the spiral. The nervous system is already overwhelmed, already operating in scarcity, already reacting to the threat. But when connection is chosen early, something else happens. Capacity is built instead of borrowed. Resilience forms before stress hits. The nervous system develops the bandwidth to adapt, to respond and expand, rather than brace and protect. A coherent nervous system doesn't wait for permission from pain. It creates stability and clarity and potential long before crisis ever arrives. Wellness isn't the absence of emergency, it's the presence of choice. And the earlier connection is made, the more life your system has access to express. I love that. And so I'm glad that you are here. I'm glad you're watching online as well. And so you're making the choice to be active in your decision to your health instead of reactive. And so we're going to jump right into a vital heart, a natural path. So I'm going all the way back to high school. The anatomy of the heart, right? We got 4 chambers, an oxygenated side, a deoxygenated side. It's pumping that blood to go through the lungs, get the oxygen into the organs, and then comes the other way, then it's deoxygenated and starts the whole cycle over again. So it uses pumping, blood circulation, but it's all regulated by an electrical impulse. And I know you've heard of this. You hear the sinoatrial node, or SA node. This is what a pacemaker is in replace of. It's the electrical signal that's sending the signal to the heart to beat. Now, how many in here know of someone with heart issues? We all do, right? I mean, we all do. Is it impactful for their lives? Yes, it changes their lives. But it changes, it reshapes families. It reshapes the community. And it reshapes, well, we know it reshapes the pharmaceutical companies too. We know that. For the positive for them, not for us. So risk factors that can be modifiable or changeable. Hypertension can be changed. Cholesterol can be changed. If you're smoking, if you're obese, yes, those things can change. Alcohol, diabetes, depending on the type of diabetes it is. Obviously, you know I'm going to get into diet and sedentary lifestyles. But non-modifiable risk are our family history, genetics, and gender. Now this was eye-opening to me. When I was reading about it, it made me see things a little bit differently. Now I thought heart disease was the #1 killer in the United States. It's worldwide. It's not just the United States. We're talking from China to Japan. It's still the #1 disease everywhere is heart disease. But in the United States, 1 out of 2.5 people will have heart issues. It's 47% of the population will have heart issues. And it doesn't discriminate between male and female. There's no discrimination between that. So let me talk about, let's go into, before I move on, I want to go into obesity, especially belly fat. Where is mine? So why belly fat predicts damage better than the scale, standing on a scale? So many studies have looked at this. Waist to hip ratio, looking at that waist to hip ratio. And instead of looking at the scale, and it showed, and this was same for men, pretty much same for men and women. But if you're supposed to, let me go into how you're supposed to track that. Ideal for men is 0.8. Now, let me find out how you get that number. Here we go. It is a whole formula. Divide your waist circumference, oh, it's by your height, sorry. Divide your waist by your height. Make sure both measurements are in the same unit, either inches or centimeters. Then you are going to divide, yes, you're going to divide that. So, for example, waist measures 32 inches and your height is 64 inches. Your waist to height ratio would be 0.50. So waist divided by your height in inches. So the numbers you're looking for, your ideal numbers, are for men, 0.8. Low risk is anything greater than 0.95. Moderate risk, 9.96 to 0.99, and a high risk is greater than 1.0. That's for men. Ideal for women is 0.7. Low risk is 0.8. Then moderate, 0.81 to 0.84. And high risk is 0.8, anything higher than 0.85. So, and they talk about children. So, do you think we have an obesity problem with children? Mm-hmm. Yes. And do you think they have heart issues? Mm-hmm. Look at all the kids on the fields that are getting heart attacks. Yes. Yes. We want to love our heart. So, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. Early intervention. And society talks about this. American Heart Association, early intervention, early detection, doing the screenings, doing blood pressure, doing cholesterol screenings. But we want to adapt behaviors early on. Now, what do you think is the ideal age to start this?
In your high chair.
In your high chair. That's right. They say the risk factor age is 35. The critical age is 35. I thought that was an interesting age. As you're in your life, you're in your stress zone because you're working. but they're saying to start really looking at 35. For women, it's 40. You know, we get a 5-year gap. But obviously, quitting smoking, that's going to be the #1 issue for your blood vessels, smoking. Increases your risk tremendously. And then having your team. Having the team, your family supportive, but having people that are going to come with you along this whole journey. So, has anyone seen this movie? The Usual Suspects?
No.
Really?
Long time ago.
Okay, yes, it is a long time ago. I gotta find The Usual Suspects. Very good movie. Very good movie. Twists and turns. You won't realize the ending, and you'll go, "Oh, I gotta watch that all over again." So, what is the biggest challenges? Hypertension, right? They're just so worried about hypertension. Have the numbers changed over the years? Holy mackerel, yes. Now, not as much as cholesterol numbers, so I really will dive into that one. But it used to be 140, 150 over 90 was the right number. Now they've lowered it to 130 over 80. Well, according to that, at times, I have high blood pressure. I work out 3 times a week, but I have high blood pressure because sometimes my bottom number is higher than 80. I don't think I have high blood pressure. I don't smoke. I'm not a risk factor there. But the higher it is, it damages the blood vessels. And so I'm going to talk about my mom. My mom was a smoker for 65 plus years. She actually started when she was 11 years old. It was her first.
Dedication.
Yes. That was her first cigarette. 11 years old. So my mom had uncontrollable blood pressure, just uncontrollable blood pressure, and it affected her kidneys, because that's where blood pressure is created, is kidneys. That's what controls it, not your heart, actually. And so she would be on 5 different blood pressure medications. Now, when my dad passed 6 years ago, and then I brought her from Hawaii to here in December 6 years ago, I was like, number one, these medications, some of them you're on is for someone who is 300 pounds or 200 pounds and has cardiac failure. You do not have that. She was barely 100 pounds because she had lost so much weight in a year. And so I'm like, okay, we're cutting this stuff out. We're cutting this stuff out. She quit smoking the day I picked her up in Hawaii. The day I landed in Hawaii in November of 2020 was her last cigarette. Do you think the damage was done?
Yeah.
It was. It was 65 years worth of damage to her blood vessels, to the point where at one point she had to have abdominal aortic aneurysm surgery because it damaged the blood vessels. So what it does, it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing on those blood vessels, and they get weaker. And then the aneurysm, which is an out-bulging of the blood vessels, and if that bursts, that's instant death. And that's actually how my grandfather, her father, died. I'm the only one in my family that hasn't smoked. Even my nieces, I'm the only one in my family that doesn't smoke. That's one reason why. But it's going to cause kidney problems. She died almost 2 years ago of kidney failure. Her kidneys just couldn't do it anymore. Stroke, again, because it's so hard on the system, so hard on those blood vessels. Arrhythmias. So arrhythmias is the improper beating of the heart. You have bradycardia, which is slow. But then you have tachycardia, which is really fast. And then in between is AFib. So that's high and low, fast and slow, and beating, multiple beats at once. That's AFib. And that's all due to the electrical impulse that's happening. So it's misfiring. Now I'm going to hit cholesterol. Sorry, I'm going to hit cholesterol. Your cardiologist is not going to like me because I'm going to hit cholesterol. Why do we need cholesterol? What is it for?
Our brain needs it.
God bless you. Yes, our brain needs it. Our hormones need it. It is sticky stuff made by the liver, essential for hormone, cell membrane preservation, brain and spinal cord. So cholesterol. I'm going to talk about the LDL and HDL because that's you hear that. That's the things they talk about. So cholesterol raises when there's damage. So when there's any type of damage to the system, be it inflammation, be it your body doesn't like a food you've eaten and it's wreaking havoc in your system. Inflammation is the first thing that happens. That's the body's response. So as the damage to the cells occurs, the body has a process of repairing and rebuilding. Low density lipoprotein, LDL, is the cholesterol made by the body to heal the damage. So when you look at the ratios, if that ratio is high, there is damage somewhere. Your body's doing what it's supposed to do. It's smart. So it's repairing it. So it creates more sticky and it starts plugging things up. It plugs up the holes that result from the damage sustained by these environmental poisons. Most are unaware the damage is occurring until, again, you get your blood work. So LDL is often referred to as the bad cholesterol, right? It's the bad one. It's found to be clogging up the arteries, but as already discussed, it's doing the job of repair. LDL has another role, which is to deliver cholesterol to the brain. The brain is the fattiest organ in the body, and the cholesterol plays an important role for brain function and protection. Now, HDL, high density lipoprotein, is considered the good cholesterol, and it carries away the excess cholesterol out of the system, out of the arteries, back into the liver. Blaming cholesterol for heart disease is like blaming fire trucks for fires. We need cholesterol. So what makes it go high? A diet high in sugar and wheat results in excess glucose being present in the blood. The presence of high glucose can result in the connection with protein molecules, and this union creates a sticky substance that sticks to the arterial walls, contributing to the buildup. These sticky molecules often dislodge and move, blocking the artery, becoming one of the main causes of heart attacks and strokes. So it's not cholesterol. Cholesterol gets the bad rap, but it's not the cholesterol. It's repairing. It's the glucose, the sugars binding with the proteins that causes the clots. So many articles about having low cholesterol and how it's the cause of all stage mortality. Causes people to die earlier, low cholesterol. People that are on cholesterol medications, what do you notice? What's the first thing that happens? Memory. Alzheimer's. Risk of Alzheimer's increases for people that have low cholesterol. And I want to read that to you. I was like, woo!
So what are the numbers that we should be looking for when we have blood tests?
I'm going to go into that. Thank you. All these studies, higher risk of all-cause mortality compared to those with higher levels. It talks about vitamin D. I will get into that. It found lower cholesterol levels are associated with higher risk of diabetes. Critical for your brain. When your cholesterol levels are low, it affects your memory, consolidation, and cognitive function. It also affects the myelin sheaths. That's the fat that surrounds your nerves. So that helps the signals jump. It goes from myelin to myelin to myelin. That's how the signals happen. So your spinal cord. Women have a higher lifetime risk of developing Alzheimer's disease compared to men with lower cholesterol levels. Women. Total cholesterol levels below 150 had a significant risk of developing dementia. So I have a patient that just told me, yeah, my cholesterol's 120. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. That's horrible. Because they are going to have problems. but the doctor's thrilled. So what numbers? I've been in practice coming on 25 years. When I started practice, well, even before that, I remember the number being 250. Do you remember that? Because my dad was on high cholesterol medication because his dad died of a heart attack when my dad was 13. So he was scared, so he was put on Lipitor, and he was on Lipitor till he died. And so, gosh, he was on that 30 years, at least 30, 40 years. So, but 250, I remember that number. They want it below 180 now. And the fact that this person has 120, I'm thinking, what is the new number? But it's too low. Your body can't function without cholesterol. So I'm not here to say stop taking your cholesterol medication. I'm saying we've got to support the body. And yeah, they may be nervous, but it's not the cholesterol that's the bad thing. It's the sugars, it's the glucose that's the bad thing.
So you take Lipitor and forget you got a problem.
You got it. Yeah, who cares if you have high or low or whatever cholesterol, but you're not going to remember it. But it's detrimental for your family. It's really hard on your family. Really hard on your family. How does the nervous system affect the heart? It's the signal. Yeah, what did I say? The SA node, the sinoatrial node. Which vertebra, this is my question of this week, which vertebra controls the heart? Which vertebra in our spine has a direct link to the heart? What's this area of the spine? Thoracic, mid-spine or mid-spine. It's the second thoracic vertebra controls that. T2. All right. Funny that I'm doing this class, and I get research articles all the time. And on January 27th, this year it was published. New research connects heart attacks to brain, nervous system, and immune systems. I was like, well, that's really cool. So they did this in rats. They did this whole study. And it says when an injury or illness is detected, the brain responds by activating the immune system. It's going to protect it. This is what we're doing. Heart attacks trigger a similar immune response. So the sensory nerves in the brain, called the vagus nerve, detect the injury, transfer the signals, it's telling the body what to do, activates the immune system, blocking. So their solution to this is how can we block the signal? That's the next step of their study. Let's just block the signal. Blocking this heart-brain neuroimmune system has shown to stop the spread of the disease. It's like, why not, you got a splinter in your finger, but let's chop off your arm, right? I mean, really? And so I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, they missed the whole boat on that one. We got to keep communication going. We can't be stepping on the water hose all the time, and that's why you're under chiropractic care. We're keeping the communication between the brain, the body and the brain active. It's going all the time. And so, as chiropractors, we're looking for those interferences, which are subluxations, when that bone is out of alignment. So I look a lot in the neck. If you have issues, I'm looking at the neck, the upper back. But that's the impact on the communication. And so as a chiropractor, we're finding them, we're correcting them, we're putting the bone back into place. But the body's smart. It remembers because it has been out for so long, it does it again. And that's why you keep coming back, that maintenance, because I don't know what you're doing at home. I don't know your patterns you're doing, if you're sitting correctly, if you're reading your book up here versus down here, if you're sitting on your foot, or
Or your legs are crossed.
or your legs are crossed, or you fall asleep on the couch or in the recliner. Never fall asleep in the recliner like that, right?
Yeah.
So the subluxations are always going to be present. It's just how long can we hold? How long is the body going to hold them out? So we want to reestablish that proper communication. I found these on The National Heart Lung Institute, Embrace the Journey. So our steps, taking a step, moving forward into that active wellness, reducing stress, eating better. You know I'm going to talk about eating better. and I'm just preaching to myself too. I'll go into my story in a bit. Yes, my papers are everywhere. All right. Nutrition. I'll get into more details in this in a second, but eating the rainbow, right? Eating the colors. We have some heart-healthy foods over here that some people might like, some people might not, because it is fish. But smoked, is it salmon?
Yes.
Smoked
Smoked
salmon.
salmon. Sorry.
Physical activities, but people will be like, I hurt too much, I can't exercise. Yeah, you can. Here's chair exercises. So I'm giving you, sorry, I don't have anything for the men, these are all for ladies, but you can go on YouTube and find exercises that are senior friendly, joint friendly. But I love these, I have a whole row that I subscribe to, but love these two ladies. Fabulous 50s, she's from Australia. Actually, both of them are from Australia, so they have really great accents. But Lucy Wyndham Reed is this lady right here. And you notice this red line at the bottom. I've done that workout. That means I've done the workout. Simple, no weights, marching in place, tapping your foot, moving your arms. 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes. Some of hers are don't even get out of your pajamas and you can still exercise, and I've done that. And I'm still in my pajamas and I'm doing my exercises. Some of them are 5 minutes. Some of them are, if you don't have a whole lot of space, you can just do your exercises right here on this little piece of paper. And she does all her exercises on a little piece of paper. I love her. Fabulous 50s, she will use weights. She will be a little bit more aggressive with her workouts. So we still need weight resistance, so I do that as well. But I subscribe to a number of different people. You can do 10 minutes, 10 minutes. And I'm going to tell you, 4 days a week, 4 days a week, 10 minutes. No one's stressed, right? None of us are stressed. Our society isn't stressed. We all have stresses. It's what are we doing to balance it? What are we doing to manage it? For me, it's going to the beach, and I need quiet. Surprisingly, I'm an introvert, yes. In an extrovert profession, yes, but I am an introvert, so I recharge myself by being by myself. For me, it's the beach, it's hearing the ocean, being in nature. Not right now, but with that, you have to find what works for you. You have to find your stress management, because we all experience it, no matter what stage of life we are at, we all experience it. From children to the most senior. And actually, yesterday, our oldest patient passed away yesterday. 104.
Oh, wow.
She passed away.
The patient.
Yeah, our oldest patient passed yesterday at 104. 104. Yes. I see her daughter, and she came in, and she was like so calm, and she told us. I was like, oh. I just started crying. I'm like, oh. And she goes, no. The weight was lifted off to her because she was taking care of her. So if she's 104, can you imagine? Yeah. How am I paid? Yeah. It just goes.
So are you adjusting her?
We haven't adjusted her in quite a while, but we still considered her our patient. Yeah, the 104-year-old. I think 101 was the last time she had been in here. Yeah. For those that smoke, you gotta stop. I know. I had a patient last month come in, tremendous amount of pain in his neck, construction worker. And first thing he said, can't afford it, can't afford to be here. My boss is paying me to come in. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be a glorified aspirin. That's not what I do. So either we're gonna move forward to get this corrected, because I know this problem's been here more than a week. Could smell the smoke on him. Like, how much do you smoke a day? A pack. Oh, he smokes
A
more
day?
than a day. Exactly. So I'm going, all right. So present him his plan, and knew finances were a huge concern, and he was so angry, just so angry. And I'm thinking, I'm here giving you life, and you're mad at me when you're paying how much a month on cigarettes that are killing you. He did not accept care, to say the least. But next, who wants to be helped? Who wants to be helped? That's my motto. How much alcohol should you have a day?
Now, you can stop smoking with raw sunflower seeds.
There's a lot of ways to stop smoking. My mom did it cold turkey 65 years. When I walked into that house, there's ways. There's ways, because she had tried multiple ways to stop.
For ladies.
One drink a day. Really, that's what they're saying across the board, one drink a day. But there's some reports that talk about no alcohol, period. Because it, again, is causing inflammation.
I'm the spring roll you crave. Crispy outside, dangerous inside. One bite turns into two. I'm pasta. Warm, creamy, comforting. I make you feel safe until you want more and more. One plate was never the plan.
Food talks to us, doesn't it? It does talk to us. So foods. We crave sugar because our body is missing. It's looking for comfort. It's looking for, the best word is comfort. It's looking to kick those endorphins in and make us feel good. So when my mom passed almost 2 years ago, I just went on this sugar fiend. I just kept going after chocolate. I just kept eating sweet stuff. Did I gain weight? Yes, I gained weight. And I was like, and I felt horrible. I mean, I'm grieving, and then I'm killing my body by eating this sugar and going, what's wrong with me? It was sugar. So it is a mindset of switching that brain, of saying, all right, instead of going for this, I'm going to go for this. It's not having it in your home, not having these things in your house to begin with. If I was the only one doing food shopping, that'd be great. It's only my husband and I. And when the kids come and visit, you think, things come into our home that we don't normally eat. Bright colored, bright color. You just want bright color. You want live things. You want things that are from the earth, not from a box. No process. Lean fiber, or lean proteins, fiber. We don't get enough fiber. Fiber comes from vegetables. If we're not eating raw vegetables, we're not eating those vegetables, then we're not getting the fiber, so you have to take the fiber. Metamucil is fiber, but it's man-made. We can get fiber, again, through our foods. You've heard of the Mediterranean diets. Now, they've done a lot of studies with this. Oh, are they healthier? Do they live longer? I don't know, but I know it is better for you than our sad American diet, which now our pyramid has changed. Yay! Yay! Fats! Healthy fats! What are healthy fats?
Olive oil, avocado oil,
Yeah.
coconut.
Yes.
What's the thing about no seed oils, though?
No seed oils. So canola,
Right?
corn, soy are all bad
Oh.
because they are high linolenic acid, omega-6s, which causes the clogging of the arteries, which causes inflammation. So then the body can't fight it because you're always eating it. So when you look at a box of anything, and I'm going to be like the crackers there, they are organic crackers and they are gluten-free and cassava, but it still has sunflower oil in it. So it's still made with a seed oil, unfortunately. Now people think, where's my one article that I just printed? Plant-based diets. They were like promoting oh, the Impossible Burger. And I had one, I was like, gosh, this is so good. No, so bad. The junk that's in there. Ah, it's so bad. So not all plant-based foods support heart health. They don't. It's chemicals. I know. Now, I can't do any dairy. I knew this, I've known this, hence why there's no cheese out this time. And so, I'm like, where do I get my protein? Where am I going to get my protein? So then, of course, I looked at the fake cheeses. I just won't do it. I just won't because, again, it's all chemicals. I want real food. So it's planning out your meals. That's what I do on Saturday or Friday. I start planning out the meals. I cook everything on Sunday. And then my meals are done for the week. So, yep, we've had some, last night we had fresh tuna. I did it in the air fryer. Love my air fryer! With olive oil on it. Love the air fryer. And Brussels sprouts. That was our dinner. And roasted Brussels sprouts. I make, so I'm making my meals. Planning them out. But fish, nuts, beans. Now let me talk about nuts, not peanuts, walnuts, almonds, macadamia nuts. Yep. And you have a sheet. Do you have a sheet? These are your healthy fats.
Yeah, there's a sheet.
Pistachios are great. Pistachios are really good, but in the shell.
Right.
In the shell, because they help serotonin, which helps you sleep, which helps you sleep because it helps kick in your melatonin. You're gonna sleep great tonight. Caitlin.
I'm just crushing pistachios
What
back
is the
here.
difference? My doctor recommended the DASH diet because of high blood pressure and cholesterol.
Yes, so they want you.
What's the difference between the two?
Actually, it was on here, the DASH diet, and I took it off there. So it's low sodium, and I don't believe in low sodium because we need sodium. Just like we need cholesterol, we need sodium for functions, to make our heart and our brain work, we need sodium. Now, moderation, but you gotta have potassium and calcium, potassium and magnesium. Potassium, magnesium. But look at this, DASH diets. Diets rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and lean proteins are associated. So Mediterranean and DASH emphasize whole foods, limiting processed foods, no processed, have robust evidence to support cardiovascular benefits. So it helps the lipid and help reduce hypertension.
So what do you think about the grass-fed meat?
Great. Awesome.
Like you're doing good.
Every day.
Correct. So you can still, beef isn't bad, but it's got to be grass-fed. Right. Eggs are not bad. I had someone tell me that I only eat eggs once a week, and I'm like, why? Because of cholesterol. I'm like, no. Eggs are like one of the healthiest things you can eat if you're not allergic to them, if you're not sensitive to them. Sorry. And so, again, my test, I was like, I'll eat eggs every day because they're good protein. You're getting a nice amount of protein and good nutrients in it. Flaxseed and chia seeds are the highest omega-3s. You would think, oh, salmon. But if people don't like fish, flaxseed and chia seeds. There's other things that are high in omega-3s that aren't fish. Because I have a lot of people say, oh, I don't like fish. I'm like, okay, there's other options. Supplements. I'm going to talk about a good multivitamin. Please, no, well, there's no Rite Aid, so no Walgreens, no Sam's Club. Please, no, Amazon. Why not Amazon? Because of the fact that anyone can print a label now and stick it on a bottle. And a lot of things, there's been studies that have done, like what's in that bottle, and it's crap. It's poison in that bottle.
Including balance of nature?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yep. So obviously, we do our research, and I'm not saying you have to get it from us, but if you have a multivitamin that you like, bring it to me. Let me look at it. Let me make sure it's the right form, that it's not folic acid in it, that it's methylfolate, methyl-5-folate actually, and that's B9. Methylcobalamin, B12, that it's not cyanocobalamin, that it's methylcobalamin. It's got to be in its methylated form. And some of us have a genetic, I'm not going to say disorder, a genetic variant that we can't process B vitamins, and that's me. So I need the raw form. So it has to be the methylated form, because otherwise it becomes toxic in my system. And that, I did a genetic test to determine that. Benefits of omega-3s. Just helps with inflammation, helps your brain, helps the joints, just overall good, just overall good. Decreasing risk of Alzheimer's, cardiac death. Yeah. Do you think the drug companies like this one? Do you think they did studies that they falsified on their own to say omega-3s showed no help to people? They did. They did. It did come out. Really haven't talked about CoQ10. Let me talk to you about CoQ10. Where's my CoQ10? Here we go. Oh, let me go back to B9. B9 is imperative for our DNA. We need it for our DNA, we need it for our blood vessels. The B12 is our energy and our nerves. We need it for our energy and our nerves. Omega-3s, in addition to cognitive decline, autoimmune, diabetes, eczema, tumor growths, depression, and weight management. Those that have low omega-3s. Yeah, I learned a lot this time. CoQ10. So CoQ10 it's an antioxidant. It's produced in the liver, the pancreas, kidneys, and heart. Crucial for our energy production inside our cells. The energy production is like, you got your mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. That's needed for our heart, our brain, our muscle contracture. So when you're on a statin, they'll say, don't be surprised if you have muscle aches or if you get muscle aches. What happens when you're on a statin? The statin stops your body from producing the enzyme needed for your body to absorb CoQ10. That's what ends up happening. So when you're on the statin, and you need that for muscle contracture, the statin binds to the site, and then it's depleting you of the thing you need for your heart to beat. That's, again, what it's doing. So they say take CoQ10 if you're on a statin. Everybody should be, if you're on a statin, taking a CoQ10. But how much do you take? 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams, those are typically the numbers you want to take. But CoQ10 helps improve heart health, reduces migraine frequencies, lowers blood pressure, and eases statin-induced muscle pain. Now, one of my patients yesterday said, wouldn't it be great if they put like the statin with the CoQ10? I'm like, no, because it would be synthetic. It wouldn't be right. It just wouldn't be right.
Can you get that naturally from foods?
That's a great question. I did not look that up. No, because it's an essential. No, it's an essential. You have to take it in. Yeah, you have to. That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. Oh, Caitlin's going to look. Thank you, Caitlin. Foods that have high CoQ10.
What?
Foods that have high CoQ10. Ubiquinol is the name of it. We're going to talk about D3K. I don't ever talk about a class without D3K. If I'm on a desert island, I want clean water. I want my Bible. I want frankincense oil. And I'll be in the sun, so I'm getting my D3. It's the sunshine drug. D3, gosh, 900 functions. That's all I can say about D3K, or D3, 900 functions. Now people say, but I'm on a blood thinner. I can't take vitamin K. You are correct, you can't. So then you really need to have magnesium because your body needs to absorb that vitamin D3. Now, you need the K really to absorb it, but K is potassium, and that will thin your blood even more. But if you were on potassium, maybe you would need to be on a blood thinner. Just putting that out there. So, omega-3s, yes, we have done a lot of research on our products. I don't get paid by any rep to come in here for them to promote products, but this is like our arsenal of what we use. And people, if you have a question, bring in and I'll look at your product. The patients bring in stuff like, oh, I'm taking Kruns, it's a chewable K-R-U-N-S, it's from Germany. It's got the 2 dots. Kruns.
That's Uber.
And so I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, but it's a gel, like it's a gummy.
Yeah.
Well, to make the gummy, you need sugar and you need wax and you need other things. Like, yeah, everything in there seems good. Sure, take 12 of these a day, because the guy was taking, yeah. Yes. So I'm going to talk about nitric oxide. That was the test you did, but I'm sorry that I don't have the second one to see if you're pink now, but you probably are by taking just one. So nitric oxide is an essential nutrient we need. However, when we hit 40, our body stops producing it, unfortunately. So it starts to diminish. Like a lot of things when we hit 40, it starts diminishing it. And the way to get it food-wise is beets and arugula. Those are the 2 ways. Those are the things that are highest in nitric oxide. Beets, to me, beets taste like dirt. I don't like beets. No, like beets, just dirt. I'll rather eat dirt. And I love arugula. But in the winter, I'm not eating boatloads of arugula, so I take 1 nitric oxide, and I have pink. And when I went through that whole thing of and I tested myself, I'm like, oh, see, look what I'm doing. I have no pink. It's a vasodilator. It opens up your blood vessels. So it's helping with your blood pressure, increases flow. What's really good for men, it increases blood flow to some organs. It's great for the brain. Yes, this is a popular one. Niacin. You've heard of niacin, yes? Niacin is B3. And again, learned a lot about this because I wasn't looking at it, but lowers cholesterol, raises your HDL, lowers your LDL, and your triglycerides. Niacin. So why not take that instead of a statin? Because niacin flushes you. When you take it, you've got to get a slow release because you get really hot because, again, it's increasing the blood flow. So you feel, for men that take it, it feels like they're having a hot flash. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, but it's increasing that blood flow. But having a slow release, niacin. And then what I was talking about, potassium and magnesium. K, that's the K, and magnesium. These work interchangeably or synergistically together, these 2. Regulate blood pressure, heart rhythm, all of these. And that's why D3 with K, with magnesium, then your body is going to be stronger, your bones are going to be stronger, your muscles, your blood vessels will be stronger.
What type of magnesium?
Very good, thank you. There's so many
There's so
magnesiums.
many.
There's so many. So if, sugar. Malate will relax you. It's really citrate and glycinate. Citrate will make you poo. Yep, so if you need to poo, you take citrate. Did you get it?
But I will.
Yeah, we have it for you.
Got it.
Yes, we did. I got that.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, malate you take before bed because it's calming. It calms the muscles. It calms down your brain. But I take a whole, and of course I can't get it right now, a capsule that has a lot, like a spectrum of the magnesiums, different ones.
How do you know if you need to take magnesium?
It is the third most depleted nutrient we have in our bodies. So D is number one. I don't know what number 2 is, but I always see that as number 3, magnesium. How do you know? I just take it. I just, yeah. Yep.
And
And
it helps with sleeping.
it helps with sleeping. Yep. It does help with sleeping.
Helps with kidney stones too.
Yeah, because it's flushing things out. Yep, it helps. Well, again, if you're taking D3 without K, you're going to get kidney stones. If you're taking D3 by itself, what D3 by itself does, it leaches the calcium out of the bones and puts it into the blood, and then it causes kidney stones. That's why you really do need it with the K. That's why you really need it with the
How
K.
much do you suggest? Because you know there's a whole array of,
D3,
yeah, like 10,000, 5,000.
depending on your numbers, depending on where you are. So for, I take 5,000, well, my last test that I did, I was 126 on my D3. He's like, you can cut back on that. Yeah, I was taking quite a bit of it. Yeah, I do drops. But baseline is 5,000. It really is 5,000. And then you just see where your numbers are. For some patients I have, they're like borderline, and doctors will say D3 should be like above 30. Should be between 60 and 80. I have probably hundreds of articles on D3 saying it needs to be between 60 and 80. That is the viable number, not 30. And then if you're below 30, you're in crisis mode below 30. So those people, I have them doing 50, if they're below 30, I have them doing 50,000 twice a week with K to boost it up. Not long, 3 months, boost it, and then we retest and find out, and then typically 5 to 10,000 range. Daily.
5,000.
Mhm. But your body, it accumulates in your system, so then when you test, like I'll do it in a year, and those numbers will be really high, I'm like, okay, we can just do it 3 times a week.
Like summertime, you might not need that much.
Correct, if you're not wearing sunscreen, yes. Right now, we need, nobody's getting vitamin D from the sun. Nobody's getting vitamin D. So thank you for segueing right into that, the testing. So how do you know your numbers? You don't know your numbers until you get tested. So you can get tested by your medical doctor to find out your D3, you get your blood pressure, you get your cholesterol. No one tests nitric oxide. This is probably the first time you ever had your nitric oxide tested. Has your doctor ever said, we're going to do an omega-3 and an omega-6 test on you? No. So, and then inflammation. Yes, they look at inflammation markers, but what's causing that inflammation? They're not looking at what's causing, they're saying, okay, let's give you this drug to lower that inflammation. So knowing the numbers is that clear path. So this is one of my patients. Do you think she has an issue with her vitamin D? It's a 28. And she is out in the sun all the time. All the time. And her vitamin D was 28. So we put her on vitamin D because she was not taking it. But you see all these yellow. This is the test that we have. It's looking at different types of omega-3s, EPA, DHA. I learned a whole bunch of things about these. DHA is so important for your brain, for those that have Alzheimer's, those that have neurological issues, meaning Parkinson's, ALS, all of those. This number is like very, very low. So it's getting a good, again, omega-3 that has good ratios. And it does those ratios. We're looking at monosaturated fats, omega-6s, arachidonic acid is needed for our brain and our blood vessels, and then homocysteine is an inflammatory marker. It's a better marker than C-reactive protein, much better marker for overall inflammation.
And what should that be? Homocysteine?
Should be below 10.
Below 10.
And that means you're not processing your B vitamins. If this is high, your body, you don't have enough B vitamins. That's what that means.
And you have that gene probably.
You could have that gene. Yep. And so not having the right form of those B vitamins. So yes, do we have this test? We have this test. Well, right now, I'm waiting for it to come in. But yes, I love this test. I think this is so comprehensive versus just looking at D and inflammation, and that's what we were doing before. I love this one because no one's looking at those omega-3s, nobody, and how important it is for that. Yeah. So where do we go? Well, you gotta know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, and if you've had blood work by your doctor, let me look at them. I'll look at them. Amy will look at them. We'll look at that together and go over those numbers with you. But those are medical. We're gearing towards functional. The small changes, making those small changes. Just start moving your body. 10 minutes 3 times a week. Just 10 minutes. We can do 10 minutes. I know when I get home tonight, I'm going to want to eat dinner. I'm going to sit on my recliner, yes, my bad chair. I'm going to have ice on my back tonight because it's been a busy day. And my cat will sit next to me, and I will not want to exercise. But I did exercise this morning, so. Keep getting adjusted. And if you're not getting adjusted, come in here or go to a chiropractor and get adjusted. Yes. Nerve conduction, essential nutrients, manage our stress, get proper sleep. And we can always keep changing this. Yes, you may have genetic, but with the genetics, we can change that path. So like I said, my whole entire family smoked. Whole entire family has smoked. And my grandfather died of an aneurysm that burst. Went to bed, didn't wake up, burst. My mom died because her kidneys failed due to smoking all those years ago. My brother is on this same path and still smokes. Lives in Hawaii, lives in the most beautiful place, car mechanic, high stress, and he's going along the same path. Just watching him go along that same path, so sad. But I made that choice. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to do those things that are going to trigger these genes. So I did my DNA, and I have diabetes. No one in my family has diabetes, but I have a gene for diabetes. So I'm choosing not to go down that road. And so you gotta make that choice, because then what happens? What I read before, where we become crisis, right? We become reactive. It's the fire alarm that's screaming at us, and now we don't have many choices. Our choices become limited because we didn't take that step to be proactive with our health. I don't want that for you. You're here for a reason. You're here making good choices. We want to help you along that journey. So every heartbeat is an opportunity. As long as you're breathing, as long as that heart is going.